Hello. This is Ninja Greg. Fucking ninjas, bitches. I got patrons that are ninjas, and we all love them very much. And thank you for the new little capture box when it gets here. I ordered that today. Also ordered another PC. So thank you guys for helping out with all that. I appreciate it. You guys should appreciate it too, those of you who are watching, because it allows me to work at full capacity, which allows me to bring you better content. Yay. So, yeah, Ninja Greg, bad motherfucker. Like, he didn't have anything to promote. He just said thanks for the laughs, and thank you for the watchings, and thank you for the dollars, and thank you for all this stuff. Okay, so Onision video yesterday, Trump today, and it's such an infuriating issue because there's no way to look good. Like, the solution isn't a perfect solution. People are gonna get hurt, but we're talking about lawbreakers here, so it's kind of like you reap what you sow. Sorry.
Media and corporate elite have condemned the administration's announcement yesterday of suspending Daca. Boy, they really hate it. Daca, of course, is President Obama's program providing work permits to illegal aliens who arrived in this country as minors.
Now, illegal. That's a big word there. I want to keep going on to that because that's true. Illegal.
Some of the strongest backlash is in tech. Microsoft has already announced it will fight as hard as possible to block the deportation of illegal immigrants hired at the expense of American citizens because, of course, Microsoft is now its own country, not just a company.
How in the fuck is Microsoft going to block the fact that that was even said, honestly, that alone needs to be talked about.
Now, what drives all this anger? Mike Donovan is the CEO of Nexus Services, which provides bail bonds for illegal immigrants. Catherine Mangu-Ward is the editor-in-chief of Reason, the libertarian publication. Welcome to you both. So, Catherine, since you're a libertarian, let me ask you a philosophical question. Do we have an obligation to put the interests of American citizens ahead of the interests of immigrants?
No, I don't think so. And
fucking why? Why?
In particular, I think in this case, we don't
American
need to worry
citizens
about
don't
that.
Get priority.
In this case, I just don't buy at all that those things are in conflict. I mean,
you don't buy that there's a set amount of jobs. You've got American citizens that could use those jobs, and you've got illegal Mexican residents that could use those jobs. Why wouldn't you prefer to hire people that aren't illegal? They're less risky.
But I mean, I think it's fair to ask the question, though. In general, you don't think that American citizens ought to get meaningful priority over aliens?
I don't know what this means to say meaningful priority over aliens.
Well, I don't know.
Mean, American citizens benefit when people come here, work here, raise families here, and it is absolutely the case that these dreamers in particular are going to add to our economy, add to our culture, make America a better place. So
awesome. And if that's truly the case, then they should be willing to go through the proper process to become citizens of this country. I'm all for that. All for that. Become proper citizens. Set up legislation to give them a way to be citizens. If it's one of those things where it's like they're here, they were given work visas, so now we're just going to set up the process and we're going to let these people that are here now go through a proper process. Fine. Then they can stay, because inevitably they're going to wind up coming back here anyways. So, but you'd think that these other countries like Mexico would want all of these U.S. trained people to come back to their country so that they can utilize them in the best way possible to maybe make their country a better place. Who knows? Maybe they'd want to stay there. World changers, you know?
we don't have to
None
talk
of
about the
that
trade-off.
is necessarily true. I mean, those are massive assumptions that in some cases are true, in some cases are false. But if you could determine in a specific case, if there's one job and it, you got a choice between someone who came here illegally and someone who's an American citizen, you wouldn't automatically go for the American citizen?
Well, I mean, I think you could ask similarly, do I favor protectionist policies, right? Do I think if a job could be here or a job could be in China, is it morally better for the job to be here? And I think the answer is no in that case, too.
Okay,
I mean,
good. Well,
Morally, but I mean, no, it's not. It's just business wise. It's one of those things. They take them overseas because they can utilize way lower pay, and it's a way to just make more money. That's it. Just want to make more money, and those businesses can move their fucking factories here and make slightly less money, but do better for people. So, what is your moral compass really telling you?
Vehemently disagree with you, but I want our viewers to know what your position is on that. So this is not an abstract question because there are a ton of unemployed Americans, almost 100 million actually. Not all of them want to go to work, but I think we could all agree a lot more of them ought to be working than are. Why would we be issuing any work permits to anybody from outside the country until those people have jobs?
I think I have more faith in the American people maybe than folks who think that they need a hand up or a special place at the front of the line. I think Americans are exceptional. I think we produce exceptional people who can compete with folks that are coming into the country.
But they're unemployed.
Yeah, and all the more reason to employ those exceptional people over people who are here illegally. And therefore risk to hire because you never quite know how long they're going to be around. You know what I mean?
Right now is what I'm saying.
Well,
why wouldn't you care about? I thought liberals would care about that.
And some folks, obviously, what is to say, should we favor people who are unemployed over people who currently have a job? I mean,
yeah. I think that if you want to be a good person and you want to say, hey, I'm not so much in it for the money, I'll work with this guy. You hire the guy that doesn't have the job.
I think that you get to a place where when we're trying to create classes of people, that when we permit that to happen, that ultimately
what? Classes of people? Really? Employed and unemployed? Those are classes of people. What ultimately is saying that going to do?
Swings away from our favor.
It's really simple.
Swings away from our favor. Talk about swinging away.
We have a lot of people around the world who want to come here and work in the United States for a bunch of different reasons. We also have a bunch of American citizens who were born here who don't have jobs, who are not working. That's bad. Why would we give any work permits to people from other countries while we still have Americans who aren't working? I don't understand.
Well, I think that in this case, Tucker, we've already done it, right? So we have 800,000 kids who've only known this country who have these work authorizations, and we're talking about taking them away. And that's what you want to talk about, what drives my anger.
We're continuing. We're talking about continuing it.
Yeah, dude, entitlements, man. Once you give them to people, it's so difficult to take that shit. You can't do it. I hated Obama so much as a president for exactly this fucking reason.
I mean, look, no one disputes. It's a tough question. I mean, I agree, and I don't want to oversimplify it.
And I know that you're a caring person, so I know that you have to feel for that.
It's not a question. Yeah, I actually care about Americans more than I care about illegal aliens. Call me crazy. Does that make me racist or something?
I won't call you crazy.
It makes me pro-American, and I just don't understand why nobody seems to care. So the idea that the more immigrants we have, the better off we are, if that's true, then why isn't California richer? California's poorer than it was 40 years ago before it was totally overwhelmed by immigration. Why is that?
Surely you know that the only thing happening in California in the last many decades was not immigration. Regulation has gone up there hugely. The entitlement state has gone up there massively.
Yeah,
but
because of immigration, by the way.
When we think about...
It swung the legislature to the left,
when we think about the Dreamers in particular, we're...
Yeah, that wasn't a smart play to bring up the entitlement state. That was... No.
Talking about mostly Mexicans, right? 80% Mexican. We're talking about, say, 500,000 Mexicans who want to come here. They have lower rates of incarceration. They have higher rates of education. They contribute. They are the typical dreamer.
They don't have higher rates of education. That's not true. That's a silly statistic. That's not true.
They have to have a high school education to qualify for the program.
Great, like, dude, whatever, man. Like, just let them all be fucking citizens then. Whatever. All the people that are here now, from this point on, we're fucking taking a hardline stance. But all the motherfuckers that are here already, fine. Whatever it takes. Just, goddamn it. Give us control. With the future. Control over how many people come into this goddamn country. Like, what? Oh.
No, we're talking about DACA here. That's absolutely true. They have to.
What's more,
but we're not. But in general, that's totally false.
What's more, it's also the case that, again, we're just talking about the dreamers here. There is an absolute, very, very clear situation here in which these people are the kind of immigrants that even people like you, who are essentially restrictionists, should like. They've already been assimilated.
I don't know. Some not. Actually, they're individuals. I don't.
Whatever, man. If they're good people and they're willing to go through the process, then they should go through the process. And part of the process is going back to your fucking country of origin. And then you apply, and then you fucking work your way in through the system. That's in place. You're doing it illegal. You're doing it wrong.
I think I want to generalize like that, but really quickly, people are nervous because of chain immigration. You let one person in, and all of a sudden all of his relatives come too. That's a real thing, by the way. What's an appropriate level of immigration into this country? Like, how many people should we let in?
I think, I call me crazy, but I believe in the American ideal that we are a place where people who are downtrodden, abused can come.
So
and
everybody
find a way.
wants to come? What's the limit?
I think that we have systems in place, systems that are broken, an asylum system, for example. We need to focus on fixing those things so we can determine who needs.
Okay, but how many people should we let in? I mean, it's not a hard.
Dude, just answer the question.
Question.
More than we let in right now.
Like how many?
I don't know. I don't know that
we could get to 1 billion people by the end of the century really easily.
Dude, if we had 1 billion people in America, America would be unstoppable. That's just
This lady's out of her fucking gourd.
people. That would be amazing.
Think about the economy. Think about the driving force behind.
So people will notice that our economy has become less impressive over the past 40 years, but the main thing that's happened is the massive change due to immigration, but you don't see any connection.
Do you really think it's even remotely possibly true that a bunch of people who came here, brought by their parents, median age 6 years old, who are now 22 years old and have jobs that earn $18 an hour, that's the problem with America?
I don't think that's the problem, but I think our broader immigration system doesn't serve America's interests.
Yeah, it doesn't serve America's interests because it's denying work to Americans in lieu of giving work to illegal people. Illegal?
Came to this country as minors, failed in the Congress because too many Democrats opposed it. Seems like a long time ago. Now, many Republicans are lining up to say they want to finish the job. Some are willing to reinstate DACA unconditionally. Others are suggesting a possible deal along these lines. Amnesty for DACA in return for a border wall on the Mexican border.
That's a good deal. I'll take that deal. Can we take that deal? Is that a choice? Can we just take that deal?
Congressman Eric Swalwell isn't interested in that deal. He said it would, quote, just give you a pass to be a slight racist on Monday so you can be fully racist on Tuesday. Congressman Swalwell joins us tonight to explain. So DACA, if you're opposed to it, that makes you a racist?
Hey, good evening, Tucker. Also, just want to update your viewers. I am working with Republicans on the stranded Americans in the Caribbean right now. It's not just the people who are going to be hit in Florida. We have thousands who were in the Caribbean and other countries. So just an update that we're working with the State Department on that.
Good for you.
Tucker!
So, Tucker, I do want to say that I believe that Donald Trump's wall and the premise for his wall, yes, is racist.
Because it's Donald Trump. Is that really it? That's pretty much what you're saying there, because it's Donald Trump. Like, God damn it.
Having border security is a responsibility we have, but these dreamers are a part of our country. And whether you follow the Bible and believe that we don't punish the children for what their parents did, or you just think it's our country's obligation to make sure that law-abiding kids who came here by no fault of their own have a pathway to be a part of our community, we should make this happen as soon as possible.
We should. They're not law-abiding kids. They're here illegally. So we should make sure as soon as possible that we can deal with that. What do you want to do?
So there are two obvious questions. I mean, do you have any kind of problem with the law itself, with the idea that the president, if he doesn't like a law, can just invalidate it? I mean, could Trump do that with taxes and just say, I'm not prosecuting anyone who's not paying certain kinds of taxes? That's my tax reform. Does that bother you at all?
I actually agree with the president that the Congress should codify, should put this into law. And we tried, and it was actually a majority of the Senate and 59 senators, and every Democrat, and almost a majority of a majority of the House passed this. So it was hundreds of Republicans who voted against this. President Obama sought to save these children, but we should actually pass it in Congress. Tucker, what the president could do, though, because he's creating ambiguity, is just say, put the DREAM Act on my desk and I'll sign it. But he's not saying that.
No, he's not saying that. Because he doesn't want to fucking just do that shit. He wants you assholes to do your jobs.
What he's saying
but
is
here's part of
Congress
the,
should do
no, I
something.
get what yeah, Congress should figure it out. I mean, you're adults, and you never will. But but here's my question, though. I think everyone recognizes this is a tough spot for some of these kids, now adults. You know, they were brought here when they were really little, and, you know, you get it. It's a complicated deal. The concern is, though, that if you allow them to become citizens, it's an inducement to the rest of the world to come here with kids in tow, because then they can't be deported. I guess, what's the limit? Like, how many people should we let in with minor children? Like, what's the number?
The DREAM Act actually doesn't allow them to become citizens. It allows them to work here. I have constituents who...
But they're never going to be deported. It's the same thing. They're never going to be deported. And you'll be pushing, I'm sure Democrats will be pushing for them to have voting rights soon.
God damn it, Tucker.
But the point is,
I think they
it's the
should
same
be
thing.
able to apply for citizenship. Sure.
Fucking sure. Apply for citizenship. Follow the rules. What's so hard?
Right, okay, so it's the same thing. So, but how many? How many get to do that? I mean, there are a billion people who want to move here tomorrow. Like, are they all allowed to move here now? Like, what's the number? Make us
Sure, Tucker. And you're presenting a theoretical challenge. I'm presenting the 800,000. Well, there's 800,000 people who actually are here, and they have faces, and they're contributing to our military and to our police forces, and you know they're doing a lot of good. And so,
That's great. Fuck it. Let's leave them. Let's move past them. What are we doing? What are we doing with them? Are we saying they all just fucking get to be here and hey, we're just gonna give them all citizenship? Fine. Fine. Whatever. If they're already integrated, they're part of the society, good upstanding people. Fuck it. Let's do it. What then?
let's solve that issue and then have comprehensive immigration reform and take on the larger, I think, valid question that you're asking.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it now, because you're setting up a precedent. What you're saying to the world is, as long as you get here illegally with a kid under 16, you can't be deported. And so that's a massive inducement for people to come here illegally. As you well know, you're from California. The state has been totally changed by illegal immigration, as you know, since you grew up there, as I did too.
Largely for the
What's
better.
the number? Really? Because actually the poverty rate in California has risen dramatically.
Oh shit, Tucker knows stuff.
Since I left there in 1983. It was 11% in 1983. It's now over 16%. Made that state richer. It's made it much poorer.
Yeah.
So, why wouldn't we be concerned about that in the rest of the country?
Yeah, that's a good question. Will you please answer that question?
We would love to have you back, Tucker, but what we should do in Congress is take on comprehensive immigration reform. 68 senators, Republicans and Democrats, had a pathway to citizenship that did not have the undocumented cut the line of people who were already waiting. It would have a more, I believe, functioning system that had order in it and allowed people to be a part of this great American country.
What are the rules? So I show up here illegally. Under what circumstances can I be deported? Let's say I show up, I don't commit a felony. Can I be deported under any circumstances, do you think?
That's a good, straightforward question. Please answer that question.
I think you should come forward, go through the process. If you're not committing crimes or contributing to our economy, you should not be removed. We want you to be a part of this country in an orderly way.
So that's open borders. That's open. I mean, what you're saying is nobody can be deported unless you commit a felony. So you're just saying the borders are meaningless. I can sneak in, and as long as I don't commit a felony, I can't be deported. Why is that different from open borders? It's not. It's the same thing.
Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's no.
Because we have a broken immigration system right now, Tucker, people are coming in that way. I think if you fix the immigration system, have certainty that you won't see what you're describing.
So what's the certainty? That's my question. That's my question. What's the rule that you would like to see become law?
That's what you said you just wanted, right? Certainty? Give us certainty. What do you think? Go!
So after this comprehensive immigration reform, no one who comes in illegally can stay. Everybody is deported who comes in illegally after this law passes. Is that what you're saying? I doubt that's what you're saying.
Go!
What I'm saying is the Senate passed a bill that increased Border Patrol agents so that you would limit the number of people who were coming across the border. I welcome enhanced border security. I just don't think a wall is the best way to do it.
But once they get here, once you're in the country, under your scenario, can you be deported?
It's a good question. Answer that question.
Because if you can't be deported, then you have open borders, right?
No, we should have a system that has order and removes people that don't follow that system. Right now, we have disorder.
Okay.
Tucker, it doesn't help families. It doesn't help our security.
I agree. I totally agree. So you're saying that anyone who comes here illegally should be deported after this law is passed. Is that what you're saying? I just want to get you on the record.
We should create an orderly immigration system. Right now, Tucker.
Oh my God. Like, seriously. How can you sit and watch this and be like, I'm totally in support of this, when this dude cannot answer the most simple of fucking questions? It baffles me.
These kids who have said the same Pledge of Allegiance as kids born in the United States are going to be removed. Right. That's not right.
My concern is for Americans first. I guess that's
mine too.
Mine too. Thank you for coming.
It's just so ridiculous. I don't get it. They're illegal. They're doing things illegal. They're committing crimes. You can't use the they're good people not committing crimes thing when they're committing crimes. Doesn't work that way. Like, we should be smarter than that. Why aren't we smarter than that? Like, and the whole dreamer thing. Oh my God, it's just and we're talking about the dreamers here, bitch. I don't give a shit. It's sad. It's sad. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. Yeah, really. Just this shit. Just tug the heartstrings. It doesn't work anymore. We don't care. We're smarter than that. At least we should be.